Hi, Laura. I'm here with Laura from Yellowfish and Blue Panda, and just taken on the CEO role. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've just done a management restructure, which has got new team members and some promotions for some of the team. Can you talk a bit about the thinking behind it and what it means for the business and for the team?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we've just appointed an MD for Yellowfish, Jess Charles, who lots of people in the industry will know. And we've also hired Janine Hart as a client director. And both of these roles are all about signals for us, really embodying our desire to grow and our ability to offer clients a truly integrated response. So this is the starting point for us to really be able to do that.
And so just for anyone who doesn't know, Yellowfish and Blue Panda, what are their sort of core focuses?
So Yellowfish is very much a kind of classical corporate events agency, but we also tackle some kind of consumer event briefs too. So we might take an incentive or a product launch or an internal or external kickoff conference. So we do that all over the world, like many other agencies. And then Blue Panda tackles anything that's not got a live experience attached to it. It was born out of COVID, actually. So during COVID, when everyone was kind of working out how they survived in this new world, we picked up quite a lot of marketing briefs, thanks to mine and Sarah, who's the MD of Blue Panda's past experience. And when we came out of COVID, we had two kind of distinct groups of clients: event clients coming back and marketing retainers and briefs. And so it made sense to kind of split the two and really specialize into kind of verticals for clients. And sometimes the magic really happens when those two agencies come together. So a client will come to us with a product launch or an internal event, but they'll need a campaign to go around it so the teams can really work together.
What's been the biggest highlight in your journey, would you say, so far?
One of the biggest highlights has to be the talent we're attracting. I think that's always a really, really good symbol of success. It's really inspiring to be able to talk to incredible leaders like Jess and Janine and then be excited to join us. Another massive highlight has to be our continued growth. Since 2020, since I took over, we've been on a growth journey. Obviously 2020 was a bit different as a year, but then from 22 to 26, we've steadily grown by about 30% each year. And we've attracted some great clients and some new categories of work. And for me, that has to be the goal: varied, exciting work and an empowered and excited team.
And what's been the biggest leadership, I guess, lesson that you've learned? It could be a success, it could be a setback.
Many. Yeah, I've made many mistakes. I think anyone in a leadership role that says they haven't made mistakes is lying. The biggest thing I've learned probably is, as a kind of 80s child, I want everyone to like me. And I'm a bit of a people pleaser. One of the biggest things I've learned has to be, it's okay for not everyone to want to work for you or to like you. And it's okay to have a way of working that doesn't work for every single client. We'll find our groove, we'll find our people.
And obviously there's a core leadership team now that are mostly female. Why is it important to you that you have that visibility for strong female leaders within your business, but also within the wider industry?
I think it's so important now more than ever. Personally, I have 3 daughters and I want them to be empowered to be the boss if they want to be. If they don't want to be, that's absolutely fine too. Women are running this industry, yet they're only 1 in 5 in leadership roles. So we have to change that. We know women are brilliant leaders, as are men, but they don't for some reason feel empowered to step up. So my job as a female leader has to be to empower the next generation of women to step up if they want to.
And as you grow and diversify, how do you protect that identity and core culture that, you know, has been quite important in those early stages since you took over Yellowfish?
That's a really good question, and you see businesses and brands that grow like lose their identity and lose their personality. And I think one of the best things we did is we co-created our values as a group, as the whole agency, and we ran a workshop like we would for clients on the kind of strategic direction of Yellowfish and Blue Panda and what was important to us. And the output of that session was 3 core values: think bigger, then better, we get shit done, and we, not me. And they underpin everything we do. They underpin how we talk to clients, how we challenge clients. They underpin how we treat each other as a team, and they also underpin the kind of person you need to be if you want to work at Yellowfish. You have to be ready to roll up your sleeves and jump in where you're needed. And I think if we continue to live by those and question ourselves if we're not, then we can keep our culture alive.
So what do you see as the most important thing that leaders in this industry should be investing in for that next generation of talent?
So I think the events world is changing. Events work best, I think, when they're the anchor in a multi-channel strategy. So the event is the authentic moment, it is that kind of tentpole moment. So one of my big pushes at the moment is to get all of our team to understand marketing channels and understand marketing budgets and how they're made up and what's important when we're thinking about social versus paid or above the line or below the line, because I think we will only be great at our job if we can stand up to the discipline of marketing and the discipline of comms.
And as I guess an add-on to that is, are you finding that you're dealing with more marketing teams for events as opposed to, I don't know, it being just an event team that sort of sit in their own in a silo?
Absolutely. I think 2026 is the year of the integrated brief, and 2026 is the year of events reporting into marketing, if not being run by marketing. And we have to talk their language and we have to prove the ROI of that experience or event. Otherwise, we will get cut. If you look at all the research, events are the only discipline that are set to see substantial growth in 2026 out of all the marketing disciplines. Yet we're probably the worst at proving our wealth and our worth. If collectively we come together and bang the drum for measurement and metrics and qual and quant feedback, we can do amazing things.
So the brand experience sector is obviously evolving quite a lot at the moment. There's a lot of consolidation going on in the sector. What changes do you most see shaping the sector right now, and how are you adapting to make sure that you stay creatively relevant and impactful for your clients?
I think it's a really exciting time for an agency at our size and that's independent. And a lot of reports you read in Campaign or The Drum are talking about 2026 being the year for independent agencies. So we've got a massive opportunity in front of us with all the mergers and acquisitions that are happening from the top down. People are looking for new innovative solutions. So my focus is really on building out a brilliant collective of specialists and taking that to market and expanding that globally and thinking about how we can help solve business challenges.
So you've obviously hinted that there's some news coming up. Is that to do with growing that collective model?
Absolutely, I'm really open and passionate about that. I see growing Yellowfish and Blue Panda are the start of something. So we're looking at expanding, whether through acquisition or talent or organic growth from previous experiences. But yeah, the future for us is definitely a collective.
And what's the next thing that you might have your eye on in terms of there's a gap that we see that we'd like to be able to offer that to clients?
We've got a few things that we're looking at the moment. We're looking at the consumer piece and what that direct consumer offer is. I think it's a really exciting area to think about, the direct to consumer marketplace, the growth of wellness brands, of car brands, of FMCG brands who are cutting out the middleman. So they're cutting out the traditional retailers and they want to go direct to consumers. We're also looking at some of the incredible digital platforms we've built for clients that lead back to an experience and whether we expand in that area. And the influencer piece, we've done quite a bit of work in the last year or two in terms of crafting influencer experiences for paid and organic content. So it's another area we're exploring.
And finally, something that people might not know about you, might be surprised to learn about you.
Before I worked in marketing and then events, I was a professional salsa dancer and teacher.
Oh, wow.
All around the world. And yeah, it was an incredible way to see the world. Taught lots of interesting people all around the world too.
And is there a book or a podcast or a person that's inspired your thinking lately?
Yes, I was thinking about this morning and talking to you actually this morning, an amazing lady called Rebecca, who is by day the commercial director at Co-op. So she's got a very high-powered job, but she's also started an incredible organisation called Raising the Glass, and it's about empowering women in the drinks industry, but it's much broader than that in that it's about empowering women generally in business. And I was a guest on her podcast, and I've met her at a few different events and been introduced to her, and we're working together on a few different things. And for me, she is exactly what we should be as female leaders. So I would recommend everybody listens to her podcast, Raising the Glass, or attends one of her networking events, because she embodies what we should be doing. It's not about man-shaming or getting angry about not having a seat at the table. It's about how together, collectively, we are so much stronger. And it's very inspiring.
Great, I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's
Thank
been
you.
chatting to you.